Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kevin, and today we are going to treat a topic which is why long distance relationship sometimes fail. Hear me out. And I might not be correct because I'm no relationship expert, but these are like my thoughts and opinions on why they tend not to work. And if you have a difference of opinion, please leave a comment down below. I'll be reading every one of them and also giving you my thoughts as well. So here it is. So first off, what is a relationship? A relationship is a way by which two or more people are connected. It can be in so many different ways: social levels, physical levels, attractions, and all. But here I'm going to be dealing with relationship as in when it comes to dating and finding love. So long distance relationship, this is basically when the two people involved are not within the same space and the same city. Like one lives in a different state and another person lives in a different state or in a different country. So here are my top 10 reasons why they fail. My first one is lack of trust. See, whenever there is no trust in a relationship, that relationship is essentially just going to fail and going to crumble to the floor. So when you people are apart, there tends to be you not trusting each other. This person might think, oh, this person might be doing something else, and this other person might be thinking, oh, this person is cheating behind me. And then so once that trust is no longer there and you people start seeing things a different point of view and start arguing pointlessly over crazy stuff, especially like when that trust is not just there, the relationship just crumbles to the floor. So there's no need to deceive yourself or anything. Just call it quits already and just move on with your life. Second reason is insecurity. When an insecurity comes into play, when we start doubting ourselves or when we start feeling somewhat vulnerable, and that'll be like, oh, this person is in another country. What if the person finds someone who is better than me and then the person leaves me? You start acting all paranoid and you start getting all these ideas that are not just that is not just happening. Your insecurity starts bubbling up. So yes, that could sabotage your relationship. And it's like, when best you want to have a long distance relationship, make sure that you are actually secure with yourself. Make sure you don't feel vulnerable. Make sure you just don't feel like, okay, the person is going to leave me at some point. You need to have that trust in that person. Exactly. You see, everything is all leading back to trust. So it's that kind of a thing. So if you have insecurities in a long distance relationship, I'm not sure your relationship is gonna last. So it's best you check within yourself and quell that noise of self-doubt and insecurity and all. Quell it down, and in order to have a successful relationship. So my third reason is new company. This comes into play when you are in a relationship with somebody and that person may have moved away to another state or another country, and people are trying to see whether you can make it work in maybe the person, you go join your partner wherever the person is. So if there are new company around you all the time, you tend to drift, in the sense that, okay, you might go out on a casual date with a friend and then happen to meet someone new. That person is new company. You start to get to know this person, and since you don't have your significant other beside you, you tend to feel they're not in the same physical space. This person is giving me the attention I want. This person is giving me that physical presence of being here and now, and you tend to gravitate towards that person, and the relationship with your partner before starts getting strained. So if there is new company, yes, your relationship will tend to fall behind. The fourth one I'm going to be dealing on is lonely feeling. You see, all these things are kind of linking up together. When you feel lonely, when you feel that void where that your significant other is supposed to be, and you turn around, you want some emotional company, you want to vent to the person, and that person is no longer there, you tend to look for new company. So you see how this is coming into play. So it's like when that lonely feeling is there, you tend to shift, you tend to gravitate towards new people. You tend to look for new company, because we human beings are social people, and we don't really socialize from a distance, because that's something you have to put in so much work and dedication to, and some of us are not really strong and cut out for that. So if that lonely feeling starts bubbling up, yes, you tend to move away from your significant other, and that could make your long distance relationship fail. The fifth one I'm going to be dealing with is being busy. So most of us, we have jobs that basically tie us down in such a way that we basically do not have time for ourselves. So if you don't have time for yourself, you will not even have that time to call your significant other who is miles away in another state or in another country to check up about, oh, how are you doing? You won't even have that time to do the Skype session or Zoom session, or you won't even have that time. So when that comes into play, your significant other feels somewhat abandoned, and he or she will start looking for a new company where the person is, and you are all tied down being busy with work and things that are bubbling up in life. You see, all of these things are all connected in a way. So being busy can also be a point why long distance relationship fail. And then priorities, that's my sixth point. Priorities are in such a way that if you don't make your relationship a priority, if you don't make that significant other who is miles away in another state or another country a priority, it tends to fail, because you people start having differences in how you people see things. So if you give priority to your relationship, especially when it's long distance, it tends to be more successful. So you make sure that your relationship is a priority to you, and if you do that, you have a chance of actually making it work. If it's not a priority to you, it tends to fail. Then my seventh one I'm going to be dealing with is distractions. When you have distractions all around you, especially when it comes to jobs, when it comes to friends, the company you keep, when you have all that distractions around you, you tend to lose focus on your relationship, especially when it's long distance. So distractions in long distance relationship is a problem. So you have to make sure that you are 100 focused on that person, and you're eager to make it work. It's the same thing as couples living apart in different cities. If they have that distractions, you see that the relationship tends to, falter in some way. So make sure that you're 100 focused with your relationship. You make your relationship a priority in order to make all of these things work. And then the eighth reason is intimacy, craving for intimacy. If we are always longing for intimacy, and you know that when you want to be intimate with someone, you want that person here and now, and when that is not, you tend to look for someone who can satisfy you with that and give you that intimacy you need. So that tends to make a long distance relationship fail. And let's be factual, we human beings sometimes need that intimacy in order to make a relationship work. So when that intimacy is no longer there, when that craving for intimacy, you don't even see the person in order to get that intimate feeling you want with that person, your relationship tend to grow apart. You tend to it's not something that just ends instantly. It's just that gradual pull from each other, and you people start getting disconnected in so many levels. So that can also come into play. Then the ninth reason I'm going to be dealing with is emotional support. When you have a stress, like this is a typical example, when you have a stressful day at work, with a friend, like a stressful day in general, you always want to come back to that one person who is going to give you that grounded emotional support, that person who is going to tell you, come here, I'm always going to be there for you. And sometimes we want that person to be physically present. We want that person to be in the same space with you, so that you could that person to give you that emotional support you need. So You might see it as a chore when you have that stressful day. Instead of you to just come back, drop your things, remove your clothes, and then talk about it with that person, you now have to pick up the phone and dial the person and wait for the person to answer. The person may be there, the person may not be there. You see where that disconnect comes in. So it's like once that emotional support is not there, you people tend to shift, you people tend to pull away from each other, and that makes that long distance relationship fail. So if you want your long distance relationship to how would I put it, if you want that relationship to survive, you people have to be enduring and have to be strong in order to pull yourself emotionally. So emotional support actually comes into play when it comes into long distance relationship and why it fails. And then the final reason I have is fight. And hear me out, sometimes there's this thing that happens in long distance relationship where you don't really trust that person, and then you have that insecurity bubbling up, and then you call the person is not there to pick up the phone, and later the person calls back and be like, oh sorry, I missed your call, blah 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 blah, and then you'll be like, why weren't you there, why didn't you pick up your phone? Then you now start having this little nitpicky fight that is not something you people should be taking seriously, but then it now explodes into this huge fight. When you have that, it tends to have a negative impact in a relationship, because if you people are not in the same space to resolve that issue, it tends to grow into resentment. And when you have all these fights on the phone, you people are not there presently to resolve it, and once this fight goes unresolved, you tend to pull apart, you tend to have resentments towards each other, all these things starts coming into play. So when in a long distance relationship, I would always say try as much as possible not to have so much fight, and if it's a fight you want to have, try and calmly talk about it, because you people are not in the same space, and there's always this tendency of one person hanging up the phone and not picking up the phone in order for you to resolve that fight. So in a long distance relationship, when you have fights and this person is not picking up the phone in order for you to resolve the fight that happened, these things tend to make a relationship somewhat unstable, and you people now start pulling apart from each other. So in all, these are my reasons why I feel that long distance relationship fails, and I may be right and I may be wrong. I am no relationship expert, but these are my opinions and these are my views on why a long distance relationship fail. And if you have your opinions, please again drop a comment down below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and ensure to subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified of new videos, and I'll be back next week with more videos. So thank you guys for watching, and bye.